Hello, it's another Monday evening and welcome to News at 10 with me, Stephen NT. The bulletin is coming to you live from the News Hub at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. Let's first take a look at today's major news highlights. The University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has suspended its nationwide strike to give Vice Chancellors of Ghana 2 weeks to resolve its grievances. The association served notice of a nationwide strike from today, Monday, September 18, following the delay by the government to resolve the impasse between lecturers of the University of Winneba, Education Winneba, and its governing council. The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has intercepted and impounded a 40-footer container of which contents have been allegedly underdeclared by an importer at the Tema port. Customs said the underdeclared goods could amount to some 60,000 Ghana cedis revenue lost to the state. President Akufo-Addo has called on African leaders to build an economy that is able to look after its people through proper management of its resources. The president was speaking at the 2017 International Conference on Sustainable Development at the Columbia University in New York. The Criminal Investigations Department of the Police Service has cleared the 2 deputy chiefs of staff, Samuel Abu-Jinapor and Francis Asenso-Boakye, of all corruption allegations made against them by Kwame Asari, or being popularly known as A+. A statement signed and issued by the Director General of the Police CID, Bright Odro, indicated the allegations were baseless, unsubstantiated and lacked credibility. Elsewhere, U.S. President Donald Trump has criticized the United Nations for bloated bureaucracy and mismanagement of on his first visit on Monday to UN headquarters, calling for, quote, truly bold reforms, unquote, so it could be a greater force for world peace. Ahead of his maiden speech to the annual UN General Assembly on Tuesday, Trump hosted a short event to boost support for changes to the United Nations. Trump, who complained during his 2016 election campaign about United States paying a disproportionate amount of money to the United Nations, made the point again on Monday. Those are our major news highlights. Remember, we're streaming live on our Facebook page and you can hear us on 3FM 92.7. Up next is the big one. Please stay. Welcome. Now, the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Akoto Owusu-Afriyie, has told the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, PAC, government deserves commendation and not condemnation for how it has managed the 4 army worms in farms across the country. But MP for Builsa South, Dr. Clement Apak, has challenged his claim Ghana has won the fight against the fall army worm invasion. Let's listen to the conversation today at the Public Accounts Committee sitting.
In the south, 7 regions, we have 2 seasons, the main season and the minor season. Those whose farms were affected, those whose farms were destroyed, we gave them another chance in this minor season. We are now in the minor season. Some are still planting. So we've given them fertilizers, we've given them improved seed, and they are doing it again. And not only that, we've also distributed the 7 different types of insecticides, chemicals, to control the outbreak. And that we've done since April, late April up to now. When it started, we didn't have stocks. Now I can confidently say that every district has stocks. So any district which doesn't have stocks would have to answer for it, because we have the records. We've done the distribution. And we are continuing to do the distribution until 31st of March next year, when we start the new season. And this time round, when we are going around distributing the fertilizers and the seeds, they will come with these 7 chemicals so that they are ready for action in case there's an outbreak. This phenomenon is so new. It's only 2 years on the continent of Africa, and it's causing such havoc. We have been very successful in controlling it compared to other countries, say Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and the others. And we should be commended for it rather than being condemned.
I came back from my constituency on the 10th. I was physically present, I visited farms, and I saw the worm. This must be put on record. And whether the worm has been defeated by his definition, and whether its presence is going to impact or not impact our food stock is not the issue. The fact is that the worm has not been defeated by my definition. I saw it with my own eyes in almost every community I visited in Gusau South.
Right, let's speak to a farmer who has been affected directly. Isaac Pabia is farmer in Paga in the Upper East region. He's joining us on telephone lines. Good evening, sir. So tell me what the impact of this fall armyworm has been on your farm and farms of other people in your area.
Yeah, thank you very much. It has been a very devastating effect on our farm. Initially, the first 2 weeks, we had supply of chemicals from the Department of Agri to spray our farm. Afterwards, we were told that the chemicals were not enough, so when you get a first consignment and you spray your farm, you have to acquire your own chemical and spray in 2 weeks' time. And every 2 weeks, you must spray your farm.
Mm. And so were you able to do this? Were you able to spray your farms?
Yeah, I got an access to the first batch of chemicals from the Department of Agri. Mm. But the subsequent ones I had to acquire from the market. Other farmers could not have access to the chemical that was brought by the Department of Agri, because even they didn't even hear about the consignment, because there are no extension officers in their community. By the time they got wind of it, then they got to the Department of Agri, the chemical was already exhausted.
Right. Isaac, let me hold you briefly and get back to Bono Ahafo region. So from the Bono Ahafo region, from the Upper East region, Paga, let me go to Bono Ahafo region, where Mugiz Abdullah is a farmer in Techimai. Is joining us on the telephone lines now. So Mugiz, I reckon that you also have the same problem which the Upper East farmer is telling us about. Have you been able to defeat the armyworms on your farms?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. You see, we had 2 seasons here. In the major season, we were able to fight to somehow reduce the fall armyworm. But it was not conquered, as some people say. And then in the minor season, we have just started the minor season, I think a month ago. That we started around somewhere 15th August. And, because the eggs were still alive in the major season stocks, they have survived again, and this time they have started destroying farms.
Interesting. So how are you dealing with that? I mean, I reckon that you have been visited by extension officers, and have they been able to assess the situation and advised you appropriately what to do?
Yeah, please, the problem is that the extension officers are not enough. And so you as a farmer, if you want to get that advice, you have to go to them. Because some of the extension officers are deployed to demonstrate to farmers how they can prevent and control these falls.
Right. So the challenge, if I understand, is that the extension officers are not sufficient. But are you able to get chemicals? Are you getting the chemicals?
The chemicals are not there. The chemicals, for the chemical, that will come from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. No. Because in my investigation, tells me that the Ministry of Food and Agriculture have some few chemicals that is given to the agriculture officers to go to the food and demonstrate to farmers. So, but that one is not for consumption. It's not for the farmers' consumption. But if, as a farmer, you want to get a chemical, then you have to go to the market to buy it.
I see. Interesting. Mugiz, thank you very much. Mugiz Abdullahi is a farmer in the Bono Ahafo region in Techimai. Let's quickly go back to Isaac Pabia, who is a farmer in Paga in the Upper East region. So, Isaac, I was just talking about the presence of extension officers to the farmer in Techimai in the Bono Ahafo region, and he says the extension officers are not enough. The chemicals are also not sufficient, and that those who will need the chemicals have to buy it themselves. Is that the problem? Is that the situation in Paga?
Exactly.
Where you are?
That's why some of the farmers do not even hear there were chemicals to take from the Department of Agriculture. And by the time they heard about it, it was already exhausted. The chemicals were few, extension officers are not the communities, and when you don't have extension officer in your communities, very difficult to get information from the MOFA directorate at the district level. So that's the problem. The Department of Agriculture is under-resourced.
Right. Isaac, we're grateful for it. Time is a pretty, very sad situation, but this is News at 10. I'm Stephen Enti. You can hear us also on 3FM 92.7, and around the world we're streaming on 3news.com and on our Facebook page. We have more news for you. Please don't go away. Welcome. Now, the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service has cleared the two deputy chiefs of staff, Samuel Abu-Jinapor and Francis Asenso-Boakye, of all corruption allegations leveled against them by Kwame Asare Obing, popularly known as A+. A statement signed and issued by the Director General of Police CID, Bright Odro, indicated the allegations were baseless, unsubstantiated, and lacked credibility.
The CID, following a directive from the President, launched investigations into the allegation of corruption and thievery against the two government officials to establish the authenticity or otherwise of the allegations. On August 27, 2017, Kwame Asare Obing alias A+, a Ghanaian musician, made allegations of corruption and thievery against Francis Asenso-Boakye and Samuel Abu-Jinapor on Facebook. Consequently, A+ was invited to assist the police with their investigations, and according to the police, during interrogations, A+ categorically denied ever accusing Asenso-Boakye and Abu-Jinapor of thievery and or receiving any money as bribe. According to the statement, following a petition by Unibank Ghana Limited to the effect that the management of Kolebu had abrogated an existing MOU with them without any reason and that Kolebu has not treated them fairly, the CID therefore followed up on the allegations and interviewed witnesses, including the Chief Executive Officer of Kolebu, Dr. Phyllis Anya, as well as Asenso-Boakye and Jinapor. It was established that the two deputy chiefs of staff, among others, intervened to seek clarity from the hospital's management regarding the said petition, and their intervention was transparent, born out of the protection of the public interest and consistent with their duties as Chief of Staff.
Meanwhile, Director General in charge of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service, ACP David Ekulu, says although the police wants the public to assist with information, they must endeavor to provide proof of same. He spoke earlier on News 360 to my colleague Abu Isa Morni.
We are looking at to see what will be done to him. The facts have not been established. It is baseless, and the two public officers that he accused on the statement that he issued on his Facebook have been cleared. Now, as to what happens to Kwame Asare-Oben, A+, who made those false statements, as I speak now, we have not made a decision on it.
Is there a lesson that Ghanaians or the public in general should learn from this scenario?
Yes, one of the major lessons that we want the public to learn is that although we encourage the public to give us information on criminal activities, if you give that information, we'll certainly get in touch with you to prove it. So the fact that you have put the information out is not conclusive that a crime has been committed. We need to investigate and find out the veracity or the truth of that allegation. So those are the processes that we have started, and any other information that we get, either directly or through the media or through the other public discussion, will be subjected to thorough police investigations.
And President Akufo-Addo has called on African leaders to build an economy that is able to look after its people through proper management of its resources. The president was speaking at the 2017 International Conference on Sustainable Development at the Columbia University in New York.
The National Conference on Sustainable Development is a platform that brings together professionals from the private sector, academia, government, and civil society, along with students from the world's top universities. The conference welcomes participants from all sectors and experience levels and currently has more than 40 universities as members of the conference. Speaking on the topic, Africa Beyond Aid, the president encouraged African leaders to ensure liberalization of trade among themselves to empower the continent by changing the structure of the economy by adding value to their raw material.
Our first priority must be to change the structures of the economies on the continent, which are dependent largely on the production and export of raw materials. It is this reliance on raw materials that feeds our dependence on foreign aid and subjects us to the politics of the West. We cannot be doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Africa needs to transform stagnant, jobless economies built on the export of raw materials and unrefined goods to value-added economies that provide jobs.
President Akufo-Addo noted to ensure Africa Beyond Aid, Africa must produce intelligent and well-determined leaders who are ready to solve African problems.
Leaders who are committed to governing their peoples according to the rule of law, respect for individual liberties and human rights, and the principles of democratic accountability. Leaders who are looking past commodities to position their countries in the global marketplace. Leaders who are determined to free their peoples from a mindset of dependence, aid, charity, and handouts.
And the former ambassador to the Netherlands, Dr. Tony Adu, has partly blamed the NDC's defeat in the 2016 general elections to the numerous scandalous stories on former President Mahama's administration. He said the electorate were blinded by the propaganda of the NPP with claims that Ghanaians needed jobs rather than infrastructural development by the erstwhile administration.
The defeat of the NDC in the 2016 general elections triggered the constitution of a committee to investigate reasons behind the loss, with many calling for the findings of the committee to be made public. Some party bigwigs, including the founder and former president Jerry Rawlings, have come out with varied reasons for the defeat. Some party members have, however, chastised the former president for being overly critical on the party's leadership. But former ambassador to the Netherlands, Dr. Tony Adu, expects the former president to substantiate his claims.
When you accuse, you must prove. So those allegations must be backed by factual evidence. You can't leave them hanging in the air. In which case, if they continue to hang in the air, then they are mischief making.
Given his reasons for the party's defeat, he noted the NDC failed the accountability test and allowed the MPP to take advantage of the lack of institutional memory to deceive the electorate.
The straw that broke the camel's back was the big doubt that the MPP successfully planted in the minds of the public that the infrastructural projects did not have the value that they are supposed to have.
He said the difference between the MPP and the NDC is that the NPP has the courage to implement policies and look for remedial action.
The NDC is always shy of implementing its policies, always thinking about failure rather than the challenges to success.
He said most NDC members do not have the ideological knowledge and called on the party to imbibe the ideology of the party into its members, emphasizing the need for the NDC to recapture these grassroots members it has lost to the MPP.
The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has intercepted and impounded a 40-footer container whose contents have been allegedly underdeclared by an importer at the Tema port. Customs said the underdeclared goods could amount to some 60,000 Ghana cedis revenue loss to the state.
The importer was said to have imported several goods, including about 1,000 pieces of mobile phones and other assorted goods from China, but declared only 4 of them to allegedly evade tax. Intelligence and the risk control of the paperless transaction led to the discovery of the clearing company, which underdeclared the items. The items have been deposited at the state warehouse pending payment of the correct duty and penalty. According to Customs, the underdeclared goods could amount to 60,000 revenue loss to the state. It is the third of such fraudulent activities to have occurred at the Tema port after the implementation of the paperless system.
We should be sincere to ourselves, do legal business with us, without resorting to acts that will undermine the revenue and our security. We are facilitating trade, fine, that's a fantastic idea, but we will not relent in our resolve to expose those criminals or miscreants who will take advantage or do advantage of the system and want to do something untoward.
The goods, which were not correctly declared, will attract a 300% penalty, including the duty and the culprit prosecuted.
The paperless and joint examination. It is a system that encourages facilitation. But you all will know that facilitation is for people who do legitimate business with customs. If you declare everything you have and you do the right things, within a very short frame of time, you can clear your goods from the ports. On the other hand, if you intend to do something illegal, maybe you have misclassified and are declared, the values are very low, then you are going to have difficulties with us.
And the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has suspended its nationwide strike to give Vice Chancellors Ghana 2 weeks to resolve their grievances. The association served notice of a nationwide strike from today, Monday, September 18, following the delays by government to resolve the impasse between the lecturers at the University of Winneba and its governing council.
The meeting between UTAG and Vice Chancellors Ghana spanned more than 4 hours. Deliberations focused on UTAG's pending strike. They also discussed how to resolve the prolonged feud between lecturers and University of Education Winneba and its governing council. After deliberations, UTAG agreed to suspend its strike and gave 2 weeks for Vice Chancellors Ghana to resolve their problem. National President Dr. Harry Agbanu is confident the current intervention by Vice Chancellors Ghana would yield results.
We are going back to our classrooms from tomorrow, pending the outcome of the steps that VCG wants to take to resolve the issue. So our colleagues in Winneba are resuming teaching tomorrow. All of us throughout the country are resuming teaching tomorrow.
Executive Secretary to the Vice Chancellor's Ghana, Peter Kaba, assured to within 2 weeks get the issues addressed.
We have to let them know what is going on in the universities. We also have to allow them time to also study the situation on the ground while we are dealing with the sector minister. None that they have even had their meetings and being briefed by their various vice chancellors. It is time for VCG to hold a meeting with all of them as a group, then place the issue of joint actions before them. At the end of the day, they will see how it is to be able to carry through.
Earlier, a visit to University of Ghana campus indicated that some lecturers defied orders by the national leadership to withdraw teaching services. Students who spoke with the news team said their lecturers were present to conduct academic work.
We are going to attend to have lectures, so in case you go and then the teacher doesn't come, then you learn, or if you can decide to do the evening.
I'm going for a second class too, so I'll see about that. But for the first one, she was around and she taught us very well.
But the national president of UTAG, Dr. Harry Agbanu, was emphatic most lecturers were not aware of the strike.
Some members probably did not even hear the fact that we are going on strike. Normally strikes begin this way and gather momentum. So today being the first day, it is expected that those who didn't know would go to the classrooms.
And that's how we end news at 10. Thank you very much for making time. My name is Stephen Enti. On behalf of the crew, good night. Thank you for leaving your dial at 3news.com. Good night.